Good morning and welcome. And we have a very, very interesting topic today. It is, goals versus intentions, or intentions versus goals. And knowing the difference, what difference will it make to us? So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, let's quickly do the brain exercises. Right? So let's start with the first one. Put your hands like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next one is thumb and pinky finger. The thumb of one hand and the pinky finger of the other. And then you alternate it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as soon as these exercises are over, we'll start the main session. Let's move to the next one. Victory and pistol. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next one is the spider. Now the spider is going upwards. And the spider is now coming down. Next, we'll do the elephant. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next, we put our hands out like this. Turn them around. And we will lift up one finger at a time from the alternative hand. So the thumb of the right hand, thumb of the left hand, forefinger of the right hand, forefinger of the left hand, middle finger of the right hand, middle finger of the left hand, and the next finger and the next finger. And we reverse it, starting from the little finger, one by one, we lift them all up. So that's done. And now we will do the ear pulling. So you've got to gently press the outer edge of the ear and pull it slowly outward. All right. Very nice. As soon as these exercises are over, we will get on to the main topic. And I urge each and every one of you, even if we are not doing it on the EMC, you should just do it on your own when you wake up in the morning. All right. Next. Clenching of the hands. So remember, we have to clench them hard, 60 times. 1. All right, now pinch all the fingers together like this. And you can do this also 50 times or whatever number of times you'd like to do it. And all those who are watching this from Facebook Live, please put a thumbs up or something so that I know that you are watching us and you're participating with us. All right, now you intermesh your fingers and you do this around 60 times. Now that you're completing these exercises, you will see how your blood is coursing through your veins and you are feeling much brighter than you were feeling a little while ago. So these exercises are meant to perk up your brain, wake up your brain, and keep your brain cells working. It helps you to maintain your neuroplasticity. All right, so let's talk about intentions and goals. All right. Now, what is the difference between intentions and goals? So everybody knows what goals are. Goals are specific, measurable, achievable, rational, and tangible. And the more clearly you define your goal, the better the chances of reaching that goal. Yeah, so we know all that. But have you noticed that we have many goals, but we don't fulfill them? So unless we are intentional, goals will be fulfilled, but it may take its own time or it may not be fulfilled at all. So what is the role of intention and what is intention? Intention is in the moment. It's like, what do I intend to do now? What is it that I wish to achieve now? Not, one day, someday. Okay. So I'll give you an example of intention. And if you remember a couple of days back, I was requesting everybody, hey, listen, we are short of around 30 people, for the subscriptions on my YouTube channel. And that day I was very, very intentional about it. And it completely changed, my approach and my request and what I was telling you. And within 24 hours, because I was being intentional, I somehow evoked that intentionality in all of you and you supported me and we crossed that figure and reached 1011. Yeah. So I'm sure you've had these moments in your life when you were being very, very intentional. So I remember I'd gone to a particular city and I had to do this access bars class. Okay. And there were only 2 participants till the last minute. And I was pretty clear about it. If 2 participants have paid, these 2 participants have to come. I mean, I have to be there for them. I'm not going to do calculation, oh, I'm going to lose money, this, that, and the other. Okay. Now, the day before when I reached, I was being very intentional. I said, look, we got to start with at least 4 people. The moment I switched on that intentionality, it's amazing. The next day there were 4 people there. So when you're being intentional, something happens which otherwise does not happen. So I'd love to hear from some of you about your examples of what happened when you became intentional. If anybody wants to talk about that? I'll give you another example. Many, many, many years ago, when I was the center manager for Landmark in Delhi, and our founder, Werner Erhard, was coming to Delhi for a function. All right. And we went and we booked Vigyan Bhavan. Now, contrary to my advice, Manmohan ji, who was, helping us out, and he was a senior person, and I listened. He was insisting we will book the large auditorium. So I had to listen to him, and I booked that, knowing fully well that it doesn't make sense to do it. Okay. Now, this was a workshop he was going to conduct for CEOs and directors and very, very senior people only. All right. Now, one day before, before his arrival for the workshop, Diane Hammond, she was a lady from the UK, she was in charge. She came and she said, I'd like to go and see the auditorium. So we took her to see the auditorium, and now it was about 4 p.m. or something. All right. So we go there, and she takes one look at the hall and she shouts at me, so Deepak, don't you know? You booked such a large auditorium, it will look empty. So Naturally, I told her, I said, listen, Manmohanji was insisting. She said, I don't care. Show me if they've got a smaller hall. So we went around and looked, and there was another hall which had a capacity for about, maybe little less than 100 people. Because we were expecting 100. And all, when, 100 people say they'll come, 70 people turn up. That's the way it is. And then if we had the big auditorium, can you imagine how empty it would have looked? So she said, nothing knowing, I don't care, switch to the new auditorium. I said, madam, this is a government facility. You can't do that. It's impossible. They'll never listen to you. She said, I don't care. If you want to have your job, she didn't realize I was not paid by them. I was just a volunteer at that time. I was doing it voluntarily without payment. I did it for many years, by the way. Anyway, so I said, yeah, okay. And that's when some intentionality kicked in. I said, I don't care. This has to happen. So we went to the office of the gentleman. Fortunately, he was known to Manmohanji, but he was on leave. So somebody said, look, he's broken his leg and he's at home. He cannot come. So we tried this and we tried that. And by this time, it was pretty late. Okay, it must have been around 10:30 at night. So what to do? So we landed up at his house. Manmohanji said, how can we do that? I said, listen, whatever has to be done, it has to be done. Okay. And we went to his house, where is it? Near Pandara Road, they have this government flat. So we went over there. We woke up that gentleman. He came, hobbling with the crutches. He said, what do you want? Why have you come in the middle of the night? So we told him, sir, this is the problem. It's a very big problem. Can you help us? I don't know what happened, our urgency in our voice or something. And he knows Manmohanji. So maybe that also helped. But Manmohanji didn't know him like his study buddy or something. But he said, okay, let me see what I can do. And you won't believe it. The next morning, before Werner came to that auditorium, it was all set up, it was ready, and we were in the smaller auditorium. It's an example of intentionality. And this is not the only time it has happened. I'm sure it has happened to you also, that you became so intentional that impossible became possible. One more time, I remember, first time, when I was going, I had to go to Yemen for a United Nations assignment. Now, we got the invitation on a Friday evening. They said, you come on Monday. Now, we had to go on Monday. Tickets were already booked because we had spoken to them earlier. But their invitation was delayed. Now, without the invitation, you can't get a visa. Now, Friday evening it comes. Obviously, we cannot go on the Friday evening to the embassy. So next morning, 10 o'clock, we reach the embassy only to find that the embassy is closed. So the guard said, sir, this embassy is closed. You can't go inside. Now, the person who was with me, I still remember, a very intentional young lady. Her name was Meera. She said to the guard, somebody must be there inside. We'd like to meet him. So he had no choice. He let us in and we went in and there was one gentleman inside, a Yemeni person. And she said, we need this visa and this gentleman, he's flying on Monday and how will he go? This and that. So that guy says, sorry, ma'am, it is closed. So he said, look, it's a UN assignment, very important. We have to go. He said, sorry, I can't help you. The man who has the visa stamp, etc., he's at home. So unless he comes, how can we, even if I want to help you, I cannot. So Meera says to him, can I talk to the ambassador? Who's the ambassador? The man says, I'm the ambassador. So she said, sir, you are the ambassador. You have the power. You can call him from his house. And you know what? He actually called him. We got the visa and we went. Okay. So that's intentionality for you. Now, I believe that this is a muscle which we use only when we are desperate. That's what I think. What happens if you use this muscle of intentionality every day? Won't you get much more accomplished in your life? Would you not like to accomplish much more than you do? So imagine you say you want to have a great relationship with someone, or imagine you say that there is a communication gap with someone, and you're very intentional. Today, I am going to make sure that the gap is over and we have a wonderful relationship with each other. And then you act accordingly. What do you think will happen then? Look at the various things, that we have to do. Now, remember one thing, I keep talking about how energy goes where your attention goes. Correct? Energy goes where your intention goes. So when you have an intention, very strong intention about something, then your attention is more on that and there is more energy flowing to that. So even the energetic universe is supporting you. How can it be any better than that? So let's do a very quick exercise. I want each and every one of you to look very carefully at what is your intention for today. See, that's the way intention works. It works on what is my intention for today. It doesn't go on what will be tomorrow and day after tomorrow and all that. So what's your intention for the day? Simple. Let me start. Hang on for a moment. Let's do something. People will say, look, how do I become intentional? Definitely, we will tell you about that. But just remember, being intentional, you know what it does? It increases your focus. It increases your motivation. It increases your sense of purpose. So let me give you very simple technique for intention. First thing is you start by journaling. You write down what is your intention. At least pick up one or two. So my recommendation is think and write down what is your intention for the day. Then next step is make affirmations. Okay? Like we say, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. It's a kind of affirmation. It's programming your brain. So when you have an intention, you keep affirming it. For example, it is happening today. I see it happening today. Whatever it is, you make up. There is a session on how to make affirmations. You can go to my YouTube channel and go through that. So very nice. It tells you how to do that. So first step is write it down so that you are focusing it. Second step is speak about it like an assertion. And third is do a visualizing exercise. So let's actually go through the 3 steps, gentlemen and ladies. Write down your intention or intentions for the day. So let's take the first intention that you have, write it down, make an affirmation about it, which you will say to yourself a number of times. And now close your eyes and visualize that it is happening. See in your mind's eye that it has happened. It has happened. What do you see? How do you feel? And be in touch with that feeling as you are visualizing it. If there is a second intention, write it down, make your affirmations for it, which you will keep saying during the day. The very interesting thing about intentionality is that moment by moment you are aware what's happening. Moment by moment you're pushing for it. Your actions change, your breathing change, your body language change, everything changes. You're very, very, very purposeful. And people notice that difference in you. Okay, now the second one also, you have written the affirmations. Please visualize that it has happened. Just see in your mind's eye. Yeah. And allow yourself to feel what you will feel when that intention is fulfilled. All right, very good. Now let's take a moment to reflect, reflect on your intention for the day. And if you are comfortable about it, I'd like a few of you to share with us about your intention, what you intend to achieve today. So who's going to go? Yeah. All those who want to speak. Vipin, you raise your hand. Please go ahead. After that, Tanmay.
My intention today is to delegate at least 2 communication loads to some leader, identify leader, and give them that responsibility to communicate to those people on my behalf.
Now, if you are intentional, you are very clear that it is going to happen. ये तो होना ही है आज.
Yes.
Right? The moment you have that thing, that it has to happen today, it's going to happen today. By the way, we have a lot of people from the army here. An army is a place where they have a goal and they have a very intention, and whatever intention they have, they do it, no matter what. I'll be requesting Colonel Raj and Colonel Babu to share about it, because they'll have many things to share about that, believe me. I think each and everyone will have at least 10 incidents from his life where the impossible became possible because they were so strongly intentional. Yeah, Tanmay. So what's your intention for the day?
Sir, my intention is to complete all the critical tasks for the day and ensure that all communication is addressed and the workload is completed within the timeline. So the affirmation that I'm making to myself is that all the tasks I plan, I've executed today. And I see myself returning from work with a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, and how would you feel? Allow yourself to feel that feeling of accomplishment even before it has happened. It's interesting how that energy changes and you start attracting people.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Kalraj, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Any one or two incidents where, the intentionality, made the day. Go ahead.
Yeah. Namaste and good morning to everyone. With your permission, I will send something to you, which I had come across yesterday in the social media, in the WhatsApp group only. And if you find it is worth related to this current topic, there is today's topic, you can post it in the group.
Definitely.
Related to that, my own personal experience are many, but I would like to, when you were talking about the thing, and I was thinking of that. I don't know how many of our members here been to Kargil, Dras, in that area. I was commanding my battalion in Dras, and that was the second time I was. I was as a newborn child in army, as a second lieutenant, I served there. And I went back to that place after nearly 17 years. I went back to that place and to command a battalion. And that time the shelling used to happen. That was post-Kargil war. The border or LC was very hot and it used to be the thing. And every army tries to go further and further away. It is like a grabbing land slowly, which you all would have read it in the paper, salami slice kind of a thing. You don't want to give any inch of land which can be occupied by your enemy. You want to go and sit there first, however vulnerable that may be. But we always make an endeavor to get into a dominating position. So I had one particular piece of, peak, small height, which was between my current then current location and the Pakistani location, about 300 meters apart. I thought I should go further closer. That will reduce the distance to 100 meters. So this thought came in my mind when I went to take over the responsibility of that area. This thought came into my mind. I was just talking to my brigade commander. I told him, if I can do this, because we need permission. You can't do certain things on your own because it has got its own repercussion, political as well as military repercussion. So he told, no, Raj, why are you taking panga? It is not the question of you going in. It is a question of you losing men because that cannot be held in the winter. 7 months in the year is going to get cut off. How are you going to sustain it? So that thought he gave me, I said, okay, I'll have to keep thinking 7 months if I will stay there. If I have to put, and if I have to put, how many I can put there. But the thought was there, the goal was there, I must go closer to the park post without he coming to know of it and establishing it. And that particular first year, the entire winter went on only thinking about it. So when I got my plan to do it, when I told there is a window of only 3-4 months window to do this. But fortunately, since the thought was there in my mind, I started doing things in the previous winter itself. Basically to reassure myself, it is workable. I mean, I should not put my foot somewhere where I am not able to take firm stand to take another step. So I said, let me do. So previous winter, we tried to do something and I gained a confidence. Then I told the commander and he was on his way out. So he didn't want any trouble. He said, if you do something like that, I get stuck here, so you don't do. The new commander came and the new commander was the one who had captured Tiger Hill, Brigadier Kushal Thakur. So he came. So I said, I must share it with him. And I never had an opportunity to discuss with him. The general had come. He came to have a familiarization. And there is an impromptu discussion took place. And I was telling him, I discussed with my previous commander and these are the issues. I got the thing done. I should be able to do it. He said, if you got it thing, go ahead. Then Kushal Thakur said, where are you going? Because he had seen the place, he has fought the war there. He said, Raj, where are you going? I said, sir, you come once with me. We will go and see. Since you fought a war, you give me some green signal, I'll do. He told me, he said, second time born here. You are born here, you are born here. You have seen this area more closely than I. Because you've seen it in the daytime, you walked around, you want to think, you do it. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you, sir, in 4 months' time, we moved. First, we created a rock wall so that enemy fire doesn't interfere with us. Thereafter, we started working on making living space, people to live there, stock ration, ammunition, weapon. We carried 55 kilo worth of HMG gun. It is an awkward load. I mean, 55 kg, it looks small. It is an awkward load to carry where it is something. Many of us would have seen Salman Khan dance with a towel in between his legs. The peak was like that, wherein you have to sit on that peak like this and move with that kind of a dance movement. And carrying a 55 kilo gun across, you can imagine how thing would have been. We went across, we stocked ammunition and everything. And I made a small helipad because 7 months they are going to get cut off and none of them going to be evacuated in that case of any emergency. They will have to either perish there or lucky enough to survive the 7 months before they can be pulled out. So we made a small helicopter. I requested for my headquarters. I said, one helicopter should come and trial land there. So initially they had reservation because it is just about 100 meters away. He says, what happens if Pakistan open up the fire? I said, now largely it is peace. They are not firing at us. And we are going to be in this. But this will give boost to my men who are going to occupy the next winter. That means they know in case of emergency, the helicopter will come and evacuate me from here. I mean, whether we do it or not, it's subsequent. I said, I want the helicopter, at least go around the place and come back and tell to me what are the shortfall by flying over it itself. The helicopter pilots came. That was the intent. They said, they just come, shows, kind of give a confidence to you and go back. The helicopter pilots came. I was never expecting them to land. They landed. And they went back and given a feedback. Though it involves risk, in case of emergency, when life is a matter, we will land. Otherwise, not for routine supply dropping the thing, because even if you drop, it is going to fall into the valley. He said, no logistic support, emergency support, we will do it. Risking, that is the kind of a thing. And we established the post. And even now, when people serving there, they call me sometime when they come to know this was done during my period. And if they know, they tell me what kind of a stupidity you have done. We are suffering now.
Right. Thank you very much, Kilraj. And this is a beautiful example of intentionality. And there is a question. Ashokji asked a question. What's the difference between a 2-day to-do list and an intention? To-do list is just a list. It's like a goal. But unless you pursue each item on that list with intention, it's not going to happen. I do not know the Hindi word for it. I think niyat. Intention means niyat. Ye to hona hai. So there is something like that which happens. It has to happen no matter what. When you bring that in, that's intentionality, and that thing will be done no matter what. Okay, Vipin, you have something to share?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Something to share out of some process like.
Okay, just share it. Just share it.
Intention, goal, and mindset is the 3-word sequence. And you start with your intention, why you are choosing that goal. And then there is a goal in your life, immediate goal and long-term goal. And then there is a mindset for that. That is your money workbook. These all things fit together.
True. And that's what the money workbook does, right? Makes you more intentional. When you say, I am power, I'm creativity, I'm awareness, I'm control, I'm money. That's the affirmation part.
Yes.
Without intention, nothing happens.
So that's what we teach our farmers.
Very nice. Thank you very much. So I hope, Ashokji, you got the distinction between just a to-do list and an intention. Now, I'm sure Colonel Babu also would like to share, and others too. But it's 7:31, so we need to stick to our timeline. And I'd love to hear the shairi of Hasina ji. Hasina ji, go ahead before we close. I'm happy Inderjeet and Kunal, you're watching us this morning. Okay, go ahead, Hasina ji.
Yeah.
We close.
हम तुझे शहर में यूं ढूंढते हैं, हम तुझे शहर में यूं ढूंढते हैं जिस तरह लोग सुकून ढूंढते हैं.
हम तुम्हें शहर में इस तरह ढूंढते हैं जिस तरह लोग सुकून ढूंढते हैं. Okay, that's it. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for being there. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock on the Empowering Morning Conversation.